True. It's been on the rise. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Winter Madness. We have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing himself. Currently teamless. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss, the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. So let us go. We're getting into our TVP, and I did mention previously that Percival, I would say his best matchup is Terran versus Protoss. Percival, he is hyper aggressive in this matchup and very successful in set aggression as well. I will see how herO does react and respond, as herO is also known for being very chaotic in this matchup, and it can be quite difficult to try to catch herO off guard. Let's go. For now we have our initial openers. Here is checking for the gas geyser, ensuring that there's no shenanigans going on. Percival, he sent an SCV across the map early on, and herO saw it. Percival knew that he saw it, so he does veer off towards the right and then pulls back. I want to say that Percival initially wanted to go for the eBay block, and you can see that herO is checking. But I believe the plan was the eBay block, but because he got scouted, his eBay block is denied. And you can see he's still keeping that SCV hidden, making it look like he's proxying, or something weird is going on. herO doesn't take the bait, just does expand. Claims his nexus, does spot the SCV returning. And herO pulls out. Does pull out again, single gas opener. Percival's going for the faster command center. Economic build out of Percival. But on the side of herO, we're expecting Twilight Council play, but we're loading into Winter Madness. Once we load into these larger maps, that's where something like Stargate openers and Stargate play is definitely viable. It's something that we do see from herO mix in. Again, he can be a very diverse player, very diverse. So eyes are on herO. So now we're building up. Reaper does move out to have the high ground CC for Percival, so playing it safe, ensuring that he does not get delayed. So once again, Percival pokes in, pulls away. We have our take of choice thrown down here on the low ground. So far unscouted is going to be the Twilight Council out of herO. Most likely into Blink. But the question becomes, 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or 4-gate Blink Stalker? How many gateways? How aggressive are we going to be? How defensive? How greedy? Here's the second gate. And that does shade in. Does not catch the SCV. Ooh. So herO pulls out. Does barely pull out. And I believe should make it back. Shades back home. Does make it back here. Blink is going to be on the way. There's no crazy like charge based opener. Charge is not uncommon necessarily. Well, it is uncommon, but we do typically see it on smaller maps. Like if you feel like your opponent's going to be hyper aggressive and try to all in, then rushing into early charge can be very useful, as we're throwing down even more gateways. Okay, getting up to 3-gate Blink. 3-gate Blink into the robo. Very safe play out of herO. Very versatile. Oh! And Percival gets caught. Reaper goes down. And herO's moving in. herO wants to control the low ground. But we have an offensive Cyclone. Locks onto the Sentry of all things. Very nice. Sentry goes down. Massive pickup. Takes down the Adept. And Percival holds. And Percival just punishing herO's aggression. So herO has to back off. Oh! herO catches out the Cyclone. Cyclone, oh no, the overextension! Yeah, you saw the medevac boost forward, so the Cyclone did overextend. Percival, he has to back off, and behind this, third Nexus. So triple gateway, so 3-gate Blink. 3-gate Blink into the third base. herO just playing safe. Just calming down. Likewise, behind this, it is going to be a 3-1-1 setup here out of Percival, just a bio setup here into Biotank. Biotank initially, and then we should be switching out of that. Nice focus firing. Gets 1, 2, 3 Marines. 4. Oh, God. 5. 6. This is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand here. Very efficient trades out of herO. Catching out 6 Marines. Behind this, switching to his gateway composition into eventually splash damage. We're leaning towards Colossus, but could be Storm. Now, Blink in charge. Save the Immortals. Percival behind this, still macroing up. Here we're waiting to see if he throws down extra Raxes or a third CC. So far, it's still a little bit too soon to tell. We're just securing ourselves here on 2 bases. Securing that second tank. Again, it should only be 2, max 3 tanks here for Percival before switching out. If we see more than that, then that's typically indicative of something more odd and more aggressive. There's that gateway explosion. Here is going to be delaying his splash damage, going for a very heavy gateway composition. Getting to mass charge lots. Let's drop the scouted. Here is aware. As Percival moves out, here is going to be moving in. Behind this, okay, we're going for 2 base all in. I was going to say, I'm like, there's no third CC yet, and there is no third CC. 2 base all in out of Percival. Here he does hit at the same time, again, just confirming the all in, but here does not see the move out. Did just spot the army. We need those force fields. Army's getting in position. Very nice armor shred. And Percival sims in. Nice force fields. Does delay. Oof. Takes 1 tank shot to the face. The boys are moving in, and there are just not enough zealots here. Not enough to defend. The third base has been broken. Here he has to evacuate. At the same time, jumps into the main base. Does kill SCVs. That's true, but there's barely anything to kill. There's nothing here. Yeah, waste of a warp in. And Percival's gaining ground. He's gaining ground. Takes over the third. Tanks are on siege. We need more zealots. Where are the zealots? We need them. Oh my god. And charge lots, again, they are killing some SCVs at the natural at least. They're getting some damage, but it might not matter. Yeah, it might not matter. Here he knows he cannot engage with the main army. It's too good. Nova goes off, does graze some SCVs. And we're committing to the base trade. Let's go. He does commit. But I have to favor Percival. Like, Percival, he's already in the bases. He's already in the expansions. Oof. Massive tank shots going off. There's 1 hidden expansion. It's still on the same side as Percival's army, though. And here comes the Great Migration. The Great Migration. Here he does try to focus on that CC. I believe there's only 1. Nah, there's 2. There's 2 command centers. He does get 1, but the other will float away. Meanwhile, Percival does bust into the main base. If the if the Nexus finishes in time, we can always recall. We can try to save the probes. More Maxes are being chased down. Percival, he's hidden. Wait, recalls into the main? Wait, what? He recalls into the tank fire. He pulls the boys. The boys are being pulled. It's crazy recalls. He didn't recall with everything. The Stalkers are still out of position. And the Immortals are being picked apart. That was a very bold recall there from herO. It was questionable. It was a questionable recall. He threw away his Immortals. He cannot save the main. And he just lost half his army. Blinks into the mine. Oh my god. And with that, Percival's done. Percival is done. He breaks the main army, cleans everything up. Again, a questionable recall there from herO. Did cost him the army. And with that, Percival's done it. Percival, he's done it. He has the CC. He has the orbital. He has potential mining. These are not the final buildings. It's only 4 Stalkers for herO. herO still has an economy. He can technically rebuild and build up some reinforcements, but this force is just too strong. There's just too much bio. The Raven, Medivacs, Tank, Widowmine. Again, just a crazy recall out of herO. Ay, ay, ay. Percival can keep going. Now here he has a little micro potential, that's true. He has Blink plus the War Prism as well. So he can try to pick away at this army. That's the only chance. The only chance that herO has is to use his control here to nibble away at the forces. Oh, does not get the counter micro back. Saves the Marauder. Pop pick up. Island is spotted.
Base is under attack.
Nexus is found. herO's yet to lose a Stalker. Warping in some Zealots. herO cannot fight this head on, but he's gonna go for it. Yeah, he's going for it. Zealots get spotted. Here we just commit in. Tanks, the tanks take focus on the Stalkers, and there's nothing left. There's nothing here. Down to 2 Zealots. GG gets called, and Percival takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Percival does take the lead in the series. Again, herO, I want to say that herO had enough to actually fight Percival's army, but again, that was just a crazy recall. It was very mistimed. It looked like maybe he was hoping that he could recall and then come in with the Stalkers and then surround and collapse the army in from multiple angles, but it was very mistimed. The recall was on its own, the immortals were thrown away. It was just a very, very, very rough recall there, and GG. GG, well played. Likewise, on top of that, it was just a really unfortunate counterattack out of herO, winding it back when it came to the 2-base all-in itself. It was a 2-base all-in that hit when herO was warping across the map. So he had no defensive warp in, that's why he couldn't hold against the initial all-in, just couldn't keep up with it. GG. GG, well played, and with that, we're now getting into game number 2. Gonna be loading into... where are we dropping? Loading into Necropolis. Oh, true. PiGosaur Cup, they do have a custom map pool for this event. This map was in the TLMC22 map pool, but did not make it into the top 16. We'll get into it. Here we go. Sweet. All right, jumping in. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Necropolis, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left-hand corner. Top left-hand corner here of Necropolis, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss player himself representing T1. It is herO. Love being able to watch this here. Great to see some matches that Pig wasn't able to get to. Typically, whenever we live cast, we try to avoid Pig. I mean, that's the case for all tournaments. As casters, they try to avoid each other, just so we can like spread out, cover as many games as we can, and also like cover unique matches. Typically, is what we try to do. Obviously, towards the end of the tournament, like everyone casts the same finals, but prior to that, we do try to spread out. Try to spread out. As from here we are going to be opening up. And again, welcome to Necropolis. Necropolis is an interesting map in the map pool. I believe this was used for the last season of RSL. Here we have a high ground natural expansion with a bit of a wider ramp coming into it. We do have likewise high ground 3rd and high ground 4th base locations. There are some ways to take advantage of this. I will say that the bases, they do spread out a little bit as we claim our 3rd, 4th, and 5th expansion. And likewise, the center of the map is a little bit more complex with high ground points of elevation. I do enjoy the setup here that we do have on Necropolis. I do recall, I think this was a resubmission. Yeah, I do. I remember this setup specifically, how I recall there being a bit of an issue when it comes to rotations and when it comes to tank positionings here pushing in towards the 3rd base. That was like a bit of a concern that we had last season. This is a resubmission from TLMC 21, but I think changes were made. Changes were made. But again, alas, unfortunately, didn't quite make it into the top 16. So Here we have our initial setup. Actually, I don't even recall if this map was even resubmitted to TLMC 22. AVEX had a lot of maps. Those who don't know, AVEX is one of the more experienced map makers, and I would say that nowadays AVEX, he's one of those map makers that is willing to kind of like push the boundaries on like weird stuff and unique ideas, for better or for worse at times. This is one of the more standard maps, I would say. From here we have our Twilight Council behind this. Twilight Council into Blink once again, and Percival, he will dip in. It does dip in for a scout. Does catch out a probe, not bad, gets one. Gonna get up to two. Yes, here he rallied everything. He rallied the Stalker and the Adept across the map. Had that much less to defend. Who has nice control here by Percival, as he will lose one SCV as well. So one probe for one SCV. Mining is being denied. I was so far a better setup for herO. It was worth it. May have lost a worker, but he does deny mining. It's mining. Bullies the Marines. Yeah, still lack of saturation for Percival. And the hero is moving out with another Stalker. There's a recall. It does recall. Does respect the army. Back at home, how many gateways? We have 2 more gates on the way, going into 3-gate Blink, into a Robo as well. So a very robust mid-game here by herO, building up in towards 3 gates. With this, we can be a little bit more aggressive, we can be a little bit safer, but this does typically lead into a 3rd expansion. Into a 3rd base. It's going to be on Percival to still gain more damage to recover. Did open up Reaper Hellion. Does threaten a dive, but so far he is in position. Likewise, aggressing onto a high ground natural waste is quite difficult. Stalkers are keeping up. And Reaper Hellion is deflected. Percival behind this, going for the mine drop follow-up. Bearing in mind last game, Percival did go for a 2-base all-in off of a 3-1-1 setup, and we're getting into that same situation here. There's still going to be an option for Percival to expand and get a 3rd CC. So we'll try to confirm. As the drop does come in. So far, catching at a probe. No major damage. But the Water Mine does survive. We can always go back in. We can always go back in for another drop, another dive. But the rush distance by ground is quite long, actually. It's as here he moves out, this time with a War Prism, so it looks like he wants to commit. You can reinforce. And behind this, what do we have to defend? We have 1 tank in the main base, no tanks at the natural, only bunkers. There's an opening. There is an opening here. And here he's going for the Warp in, he's pushing. Mine drop back into the main. So far 2 probe kills. And with 2 bunkers, Percival, he should be able to hold on. We dive in the Raven. Raven gets focused down. Stalkers, we committed. We're oh god. It's very messy. Gets into the mineral line. It does get a couple of SCV kills and will deny mining. Okay. It denies mining. Messy defense. 6 SCV kills and will try to get away. Oof. Leading out more Stalkers. Escaping with 4, he lost 6 Stalkers in the process. This is a hefty trade here for herO, and wasn't quite worth it. herO, he falls behind in the supply, bleeds out a bunch of Stalkers. Still looking for more damage. Does get behind the mineral line. Gets 1 more CV. 2 more. Just 1. Just the 1 worker. Now, after these heavy losses from herO, there's a very high chance that Percival turns this into a 2-base all-in again. It's a very high chance. I will say that I believe the 3rd bases are a little bit less... never mind. I was going to say that they're a little bit less accessible, but what you can do is you can push in between the bases and take control of the low ground. You can take control of the low ground instead. Eyes on Percival. Behind this, we have earlier Storm than last time. This will help. Storm is on the way. Be heavily reliant on those storms. Percival finishing up his upgrades. Does catch the Observer. But now just going for drops. Speaking of, here is in position. Oh no, the rally! Oh, does notice. And Percival notices, he does pull away. Drop is denied. The issue with the 2-base all in here is, again, the rush distance by ground is quite long. It's quite a long way across the map here. So we'll see if he throws down a command center. Percival, he moves out. Let's make his way across. Third CC. Okay, there it is. So it doesn't pull the boys, expanding into a third base, building up into the mid game. This time Percival, he's macroing. He's macroing up. So he does push. Bearing in mind that there are 7 High Templar, there's a lot of storms. Oh, speaking of, first storms to land. Sending back the army. There's still plenty more where that came from. Ooh, at the same time, very nice counterattack here. They drop into the middle line. 6 probe kills. 6 probes, catching out some stalkers as well. Gaining ground in the main. Templar trying to move in. Oof. Yeah, still massive tank shots. Tanks that help cover the main. They punish the zealots. Of brutal storm. Storm does connect, and Percival, he's running out of reinforcements here. He's running out of support for his tanks, so he will have to leave soon. If not, he will lose all those tanks. I mean, he's punishing. Storm drop on the tanks, massive shots here on the stalkers. He trades well. Percival, he still trades well here. 11 probe kills, takes down the stalkers. Even trying to catch out one of the High Templar. Tanks are still alive. Oh my god, and we're just rallying in. We're just rallying in. The High Templar, they're exposed. The panic storms. He's going for the kill. Can he do it? He can. He can break through the Immortal. There's what, 2 stalkers left. No more storms. They get a messy defense here out of herO. And these tanks were insane. They got so much value. And with that, Percival's done it. He has done it. He breaks on through. Didn't even need the third. You could even argue the third base hurt him. It slowed him down. And GG gets called. Percival, he will overwhelm. He will claim a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. And GG, well played, Percival. He will extend his lead here. Again, winding up back, herO had a very messy defense when it came to dealing with that tank line. Going for the he was very storm heavy, and unfortunately against tanks, the storms, even though they showered the tanks, they were not enough to break through, not enough to break them down. Likewise, a big reason why this looked so difficult for herO is because he lost, what was it, 6 stalkers across the map. Remember, this all kind of snowballed out of control, which is why I thought it was going to be a 2-base all-in to capitalize on herO's losses. It all came down to herO blinking into the natural and into the mineral line, and in the process losing so much of his army. So many stalkers went down in the process, and it wasn't really worth it. He killed a couple of SCVs, but again, he bled out so many units, and that meant that he had that much less to defend back at home. When it comes to PvT, it is imperative that you maintain and more importantly, that you retain your stalkers over time, because they build up and that becomes the core part of your army. Ideally, you don't want to be warping them in. You don't want to be spending more resources to replace them, to replenish. GG. GG, well played with that. Percival, he's up 2-0, and now we're going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Let's go. Another one of these smaller maps, and this map does favor aggression, and we've been seeing non-stop 2-base play. Technically, Percival did get a 3rd CC last game, but it never really kicked in. It was just 2-base all-ins, essentially. 2-base all-ins here by Percival, and we're expecting that here on Ruby Rock. We'll see how herO does adjust. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran leading the series 2-0 and 1 game away from claiming the series and advancing onto the grand finals. It is Percival. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go. Letting tanks walk up. to the ledge was not smart. I would push back against that kind of framing. It's kind of weird framing. Senor Killer Caterpillar. As we try to emphasize, the big reason why herO had no map control was because of the committed 3-gate blink dive into the natural. So in the mid game, herO, he went 3-gate blink Stalker, he went for the Warp Prism, he went for a big Warp in as well, he pushed across the map, and he overcommitted into the natural base of Percival. He bled out a lot of Stalkers. That's why he had so little to work with, and that's why he did not have map control, which you would typically expect in PvT. So Percival, he capitalized on the overextension from herO previously, and just snowballed out of control. So it led into a shaky defense out of herO. Shaky. There we go. Here we go. We are going to be opening up. And once again, welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a smaller map of the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here on Ruby Rock, and based on what we've seen so far, we should be seeing some safer play here by herO. We might even see just charge first instead of blink, or again, just a bit of a tamer response. We'll see. Hello. So from here we are going to be opening up. And we are going to be settling in. herO does come in with a rescout. herO does confirm that this is an economic opener. Single racks, single gas I should say. Single gas into a racked expand. herO being an annoyance, and he will attempt to delay the CC. Brings out a second worker. So again, nice delay. Reaper slips into the main, and we'll get a probe. Not bad. Gets one, but only one. So one probe per Reaper. As the Reaper attempts to get away, but is cornered. Reaper does fall. Twilight Council gets thrown down. We're expecting blink, but we'll see if herO does decide to take a risk and open up charge instead. We'll get into it if that's what he decides to go for. Go. As gateways are being thrown down. We're still waiting for the initial robo as well. That does shade in. So far, controlled by Percival. So far, he's keeping up. He's defending well. And behind this, going for the 1-1-1, setting up for potentially an add-on swap as well. We've yet to see any Banshee play out of Percival, and that's still something that is very accessible here in PvT. Otherwise, you just open up Raven for harass. And herO cut some corners this time. Okay, no robo. Opening up 2 gates. So 2-gate blink, and no third gateway, no robo, straight into a third base. A very greedy build here by herO. Is being greedy. Meanwhile, Percival is going to be going for his own Cloak Banshee. This has a little potential for damage just because herO did decide to delay his robo, right? There is no robo, so no detection. Often it is common, it is standard to go for an earlier robo before the expansion to get detection up and running and have access to immortal production. That is not the case for herO. So these Banshees can pop off. Robo now is on the way, again much more delayed. Hellion getting a scout off, dips in, confirms the robo. Percival does scout, does confirm. And we'll see if he does hold on to the Banshees, bearing in mind that 2 Banshees kind of one-shot probes. Second Banshee's on the way. In the dive. Yo, sinistro in the chat. God, baby, yeah. Good to see you, baby. Good to see you. sinistro. I appreciate the comment you left as well on Reddit. I appreciate it. regarding the tournament results. We appreciate este sinistro. Fala galera, baby. Fala galera. Banshees are moving out. We do see herO with the interception, and he does catch him. He does find him. Oof. Jesus, the observers are all over the place. Yeah, Banshees are going to be denied. They're going to be deflected. So far, this has not been worth it, and he even does catch the Banshees as well. Aye. Brutal losses here for Percival. And again, it was a big commitment as well. It's a big investment going into Cloak, going into, spending all that Star Pro production as well. Rough start for Percival. Does move out with a double drop. As he moves out, herO's moving in. Oh. There's an opening. There's an opening into the main. There's nothing here. There's what, 2 Marauders and 2 Marines. He blinks in. He dives into the main base. And does end up trading. Doesn't blink in with the rest of his army. So it does get a Marauder, a couple of Marines. Percival still commits across the map. Does not turn around. And again, there's no tanks, by the way. There's no tanks on low ground. We can just push. He can just send it. Yeah, Percival does it the third. herO pushes into the natural. Does move in. Widow Mines. Ooh. They do move forward. They're going to be thrown away. Not a single shot. Some boys are being pulled. Desperation here by Percival. And he's getting caught out. We're getting rowdy. We're getting messy. 16 probe kills. 16 SCVs. The natural is broken. herO pushing in towards the main. At the same time, Percival does break the third, but he has to keep going. He's running out of steam. He's running out of steam. Running out of army. We have to keep pushing in towards the natural. But Percival does not have enough across the map. Does not have enough. As Deepers are falling, we have defensive immortals. herO holds. Here he's holding on, and across the map, I can't say the same for Percival. He will lose control of the natural. CC force a lift. Oh. There's that force field. And we're microing our heart out. It's we're doing what we can. 27 SCVs contained on one base. And again, without any tanks on the high ground, without any kind of defensive setup, there's nothing to stop this. He cannot be stopped. herO snowballing out of control. He can just keep going. Behind this, resaturating his third. Building him to +1. And with high ground vision, he can just blink. He can just blink in. Now playing it safe. Cleaning up all the depots. And now the rest of the reinforcements have arrived. He's got his reinforcements. We can just dive, Pappy. You can do it. Oh no, GG. GG gets called, and herO does fight back, does put a point on the board. herO does make a series out of this. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Winding it back again, it was a big commitment by Percival to go into Cloak Banshees. They did not pay for themselves. They were shut down real fast and real hard. Not just that, but because of the initial tech of Percival, he had no tanks. There was 0 tanks to work with. Without any tanks, Blink Stalkers are actually more effective. They're more deadly as a result of that. We had a weaker defensive setup, and of course, once herO realized that, he just committed. It wasn't just that though. To be fair, it also coincided with Percival going for his drop. Right, he moved out with a triple drop across the map, so he had that much less to defend back at home. So Percival, he was vulnerable, and herO did take advantage of that vulnerability. GG. GG, well played. With that, herO, he does fight back. We have a back and forth here. We're going to be loading into game number 4. Just catching up. Just catching on up. How you doing? We're doing well, doing well. It's been an intense couple of weeks due to GSL. Like, GSL has filled up our schedule quite heavily. Well, it was everything. It was TLMC into GSL and RSL as well. So there's a lot of StarCraft going on. A lot of StarCraft. Oh. So it's been intense. I look forward to June when things slow down a little bit. Maybe I say that, but coming into the end of the month, we have my source of the game, and we have Home Story Cup on the horizon as well. So there's a lot of StarCraft. But here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Washout, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran leading the series 2-1, and still 1 game away from claiming the series. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself representing T1. It is herO. Yunker always putting in lots of work. Given the minimum recognition on the effort you two put in is literally the bare minimum. Gracias, papi, gracias. Regardless, I mean, you say that, but we appreciate it. It's not comment. We appreciate it. Yeah. So we're going to be settling into Watch Out. Watch Out is another one of the, is actually a TLMT22 finalist. This is one of the maps that has been added into the top 16, and you can soon vote on as well when it comes to whether or not you wish it to be added to said map pool. The map itself is interesting. It does have some unique quirks and some unique features, of course. The biggest ones are these hybrid locations, these hybrid bases. We have 1, 2, 3 bases on each side of the map, so 6 in total hybrid expansions with towers that can be knocked down to destroy patches. It is a unique idea. It's definitely a unique idea, something we haven't really seen before. The idea of being able to harass in multiple ways and to destroy mineral patches is cool. But I'll be honest, I don't think I've experienced a single mid to late game on Washout, so I haven't actually seen these bases actually come into play, and be influential. Like it just hasn't happened. It doesn't help that right now we're in the meta of shorter games, more aggression, more all in. So unfortunately, it's something that we have yet to fully experience when it comes to our games watched and games casted. But it felt good. It was I think it was yesterday or the day before we raided Sal, and Sal he gave us a nice shout out as well. It's a bit of a different perspective from him, but because he doesn't watch as much StarCraft, but he created like an app that goes through a Ligulac and actually assigns VODs with matches, so you can easily watch VODs and find games from matches played on a Ligulac. And he was like, guys, you're crazy, because it was going through it, and almost every series played had us as the VOD, because we cast everything. He was like, oh my god. He's like, I thought maybe Wardy or Steadfast would cast some of StarCraft, but no, it's you guys. Like, yeah, that's been the case for 5 years. They gave us a nice shout out. Sal. I say 5 years, since 2022. Recasting the most StarCraft. And we'll still keep it going. True. So now we are going to be opening up. Once again, we're going to be going for our Blink-based opener. Twilight Council into Blink. This time we'll see if we do go for additional Blink Stalkers, additional Gateways, I should say. As Hallucination does get eyes on the initial setup. Does get eyes on the 1-1-1. There's the add-on swap. We spoke about last game how the initial Cloak Banshees, they didn't do any damage, and it was a really rough start. At this time, much more tame opener, going for Ravens. Going for harassment. Oh, once again, herO being quite greedy here. Once again, 2-gate Blink into a third. Very greedy build here by herO. Focusing on its economy. Percival does confirm. This does lead into a stronger mid-game as well. Bear that in mind. So hyper greed out of herO. And we'll see if Percival can punish. We'll see if he attempts to. Este sinistro. Much love. Much love. Less than 3. Do what we can. Unfortunately, it means we don't have time for other things. We've been trying to stream other games, but because of the intense schedule, I think we don't really have time for other stuff until end of the month. We'll get there. We'll make it through May. And there's still more to cast. Unironically, there are events. There are people that approach us to cast events, and we have to turn them down because our schedule's too full. We can't fit you in. No. Specifically OSC. There's a bunch of OSC tournaments. There's even OSC King of the Hill, for example, that often doesn't get a caster. It's a really fun tournament. It's a really good event, but often doesn't get casted. Feels King of the Hill, man. We just have no room. For now, we do have our tech-heavy follow-up. So again, we spoke about the greed of herO going 2-gate blink into a third base, and from here rushing into the bay into Colossus. So this is just hyper greed. We're just staying on a very low gateway count. We're finally throwing down additional gateways. There's still no forge either, for example. Just very greedy, very tech-heavy stuff here out of herO, and we'll see if he gets away with it. There is a window in time where herO is vulnerable, where Percival can pull the trigger and send it across the map. But the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for herO as he builds up those Colossus. So that is a concern. As here we go, we're setting up. Stim is almost done, and Percival can start to push. It's going to be up to herO to slow this down as best he can. Does catch a Marine. Gets one, gets two. Two Marines get picked off. Percival does still commits. Behind this, rallying Liberators. And do we pull the boys? We do! There we go. The boys are being pulled. 2-base all in. As you mentioned, herO has been hyper greedy this game, and it's on Percival to punish. Let's go. He sends the boys. We do have our first Colossus. Can we get on top of the ramp? Ooh, if we can set up here. Not quite. Yeah, Percival, he does pull back. The boys are a little bit late. Tanks do siege. Tanks are exposed. He gets one. One tank goes down. He gets a second tank as well. There's one tank left. Ooh, and brutal force fields as well. Looking down the SCVs. A rough start for Percival. Remember, the tanks are the backbone of the army. To lose 2 tanks already is brutal. Yeah, again, this ramp was too narrow. It was too narrow. You got punished for it. Trying to push up the ramp. Tanks getting in position. Nice tank shots. Nice tank volleys. As time goes on, second Colossus just now popped out. Extended lance is done. Liberation has arrived. We have freedom. We have freedom. Here, getting within range of the Nexus. Now we can commit in. Now here comes the second Colossus. And the boys are being cleaned up. Yeah, breaks through the SCVs, now trying to get on top of the tanks as well. Oh, doesn't quite get on top though. Percival, he stims in. He gets one. Oh my god, he gets one Colossus. Can he get the other? Keep going. Not quite. Not quite. He's so close though. Stims in once again. The boys are being pulled. The bio army is so low. And the Colossus survives. Colossus does barely survive. I can't say the same for the third. The third is broken. Percival, can he keep going? Again, he's so close. Can he kill the Colossus? One more shot. He gets it. Massive pickup. Colossus goes down. And what does herO have left? He still has a Colossus. Oh, there's still one left. There's still one left. herO trying to catch reinforcements. Those guys come in from behind. Oh, rotating back over. Does rotate. Tank blows on the Stalkers. Percival moving further in. Once again, trying to get within range of the production. Tank is exposed. We got to move in back. Oh, let's reinforce this are getting caught. Tanks to do siege. Now there's a second Colossus. Tank shots on the Stalkers. One tank does go down. It does catch one. And there's not enough bio here. We need more Marauders. We need more reinforcements. He needs more. Okay, shout out to these Stalkers. Picking up whatever they can. Tanks to do punish. Nice focus firing there on the Colossus. Gets one. There's one left. One Colossus left, but no more bio. No more bio, no more Marines, no more Marauders. They get zoned away. Tanks are going down, and hero's holding. Yeah, herO, he barely holds on, cleans up every single tank. Whew. That was close. That was so close. If there were a couple of, like, imagine this game where if Percival didn't lose the first 2 tanks at the start of the all-in. If those 2 tanks did not go down early on, then this push would have been harder and faster. Then we would have pushed up into the ramp harder and faster as well. It was just so brutal for Percival to lose 2 tanks at the beginning of the all-in. It was brutal. And now Percival's being forced all the way back. Behind this 3rd CC. Oh, okay. Getting a 3rd CC. Percival gonna try to macro out of this. I mean, he does have the worker lead, true. And I mean, herO is on 2 bases. We can try to macro out of this. Do we both just back off, calm down, and expand? I mean, we there it is, third base for herO. herO's claiming his third. So is Percival. We're in a really weird game state. Okay, so where exactly are we? We still have 2 Colossus, right? The Colossus gun is still quite healthy. And we can nibble away at the CC. CC is exposed. Yep. Command Center taking a lot of hits. And can we force a cancel? Vikings still amassing. Liberator does push forward. Okay. Does join the army back. Oh no! Oh, catching a 1, 2, 3 sentries. Nice catch at the Percival. Very nice. Catching at the sentries. From here, moving out at the same time. herO does drop into the main. Percival doesn't have the supply to defend at both locations at once. He's rotating over, out of position. Ooh, tank is caught. Very nice force field. Catching at the tank, creating a choke point. Oof. And massive swipes on the bio. CC does complete at least. Does complete, but here's just trading. He's just picking up whatever he can, poking, prodding at the army, while he pulls away and fully saturates. And are we just gonna? Are we really gonna end up in a macro game? Yo, after the failed all-in, we're macroing up, Pappy. Let's go. Strap yourselves in for a 30-minute game, assuming that Percival can expand. Like, bearing in mind that herO, he still has map control. He's got a disruptor as well. He's containing Percival, and so far Percival cannot break out. He's still contained. Novas, he's got 2. Yeah, but then as they go off, they catch out one of the tanks. Oh, actually going for the bio. Connect with the Marauders. Marauders go down, tanks now exposed. And he does get 1. Oh no, oh my god, the tank shots! Oh, jeez. The herO here makes sense. Percival, he punishes. It does punish very hard. Ay. Despite that, 13 SCV kills. At the same time, drop gets across the map. 6 probe kills, not bad. Now jumping into the main. We're getting messy. We're getting messy, getting chaotic. This did force a recall. Now Percival can expand. He breaks out from the contain. Tyrannix Matrix, Sag. That is not true. And if you noticed, and if you saw, but like that all-in had a lot of potential, and there were definitely mistakes that Percival made. Without a Raven, like it's still very common to go for all-ins without Ravens, without disables. Hit with Vikings, hit with Liberators. Again, I will still emphasize Percival losing 2 tanks at the start of the all-in, like a bit prematurely. We're building up. Zell drop into the natural. Does zip in, does try to harass. Vikings will shut this down. But the Zell's so distracting. Here we're gonna calm down. herO does break in, takes down the tower. Prism is caught. And we are building up into a longer game state. We're going to Mass Disruptor from here, double Forge, double upgrades. 4th Nexus now on the way, going for the hybrid expansions. And the map is large enough where I do favor the Protoss when it comes to a longer macro game here. There's just a lot of bases, a lot of expansions to claim, a lot of high yield bases more importantly, which is crucial here for Protoss, for herO. And Percival, he needs to be active like this. He needs to be aggressive in some way. For now though, he's stuck at home. We're up to 7 disruptors. He's got so many Novas. Percival, he attempts to flank. Hero's on him. Diving on the Marines. And just looking for a way in. More importantly, just containing, right? We're just keeping Percival busy, containing him, ensuring that there's no drop play, there's no move outs. I say that Percival does slip by. Does slip out on the left-hand side. There's a spotter probe. Here he attempts to expand, and Percival should force a cancel. Might even get a kill. Sims in. Sim in, does force a cancel, catching out 3 free probes, straight 3 free pylons. Is getting damage. At the same time, herO was double expanding, going for another expansion here. Oh my god. It's a bit of a ninja, as he does just skip bases. Okay. Does skip an expansion, just keeps going. Getting more high yield bases. Oh my god. As he doesn't catch the medevacs. Both armies are maxing out. Building up and maxing out. When it comes to Percival's army, he's still perfecting it. We're still building up tanks, Vikings, Liberators, and Ghosts. The first wave of Ghosts are on the way, but they're not ready yet. He needs those EMPs. But we are so disruptor heavy though. And as they pop off, they deny mining, 5 SCV kills. Are catching up 5 SCVs. Thankfully, I guess the sensor tower will let Percival know about the workers mining. I guess. At least at the gas geyser. Oof. The disruptor does go down. Colossus as well. So a bit of a costly trade here from herO. And Percival just sends it right down mid. He just sends it. No recall. There's no energy. Nice EMP, just to make sure. But there are reinforcements. Yeah, the reinforcements back at home. They're buying time. Does still get into the mineral line. At 10 probe kills. 10 probes do go down. Not bad. Gets up to 12. Ooh, but cannot get out. Yeah, cannot escape. Cannot get out. Ay. Saving 1 ghost. At the same time, double prism drop into the main. Does distract. Once again, just causing a distraction. Here, he more or less defends. Oh, but here's probe count is actually very low. 54? What? Like, very low probe count. I'm sure he just lost a wave of workers here at the 3rd base. But despite the bases, no economy, no saturation. Ooh. Catching up the medevac, catching up the ghosts. Yeah, this is a brutal trade here for Percival. Wasn't quite worth it. Wasn't worth it, Pappy. Here links in. Geez, so many Liberators. The Freedom does move in. Nova's very nice splits. Nova's don't connect. The splits, Pappy. He spreads well. Voids and Novas. Still keeping up with the army rotation. Shots going off. Libera's a little bit late to siege. He does dive in. Ooh, and these Stalkers are going to be going down. Massive shots. Catching at the Colossus as well. But cannot chase. Again, we built up to how many? Up to 8 disruptors. It's too many Novas. Too many. And earlier, what I was criticizing, what I was critical of here was the worker counts. Now we're up to 77. The probe count is getting up there. Building up, we're saturating. Here, gaining map control and soon accumulating a bank as well. The bank is the biggest concern. Percival does claim a 4th. But again, these losses have been rough. These trades have been rough. Premier spreading himself thin. He's spreading thin. Workers that get caught out as well. Catching out more SCVs. Percival does eventually find the ninja base, but I can't do anything about it. Cannot stop the expansion. And the goal for herO from here should just be deny the base. Deny the expansion over and over again. Percival's done a great job at securing his 4th, but the 5th base, again, he's spreading himself very thin. The 4th base now exposed. Tank's going to be going down. Shoals and overs. Goes to the mineral line. Ooh. No major connections. Does get 7 SCVs though. 7 SCVs. herO pulls away. Once again, going for another run by. Planetary's not done. Still denying mining 10 SCVs in total. Nice cannon drop. Very nice. Takes down his own mineral line. Yeah, not easy getting across the map here, so 17 probes go down. The Nexus might even fall as well. Oh, not quite. Drops further in. Just keeps on dropping. Moves like this are quite necessary here for Percival to get across the map to punish some of these mineral lines. Here, his bases are so spread thin. I mean, both players in general. On washouts. But the main army is looking terrifying. We just mapped over the planetary. You know, the most efficient Novas, but does not get the planetary. Oh my god. Novas are on cooldown. Now we can just give chase. Stim. We can stim in. It takes down Colossus, takes down Disruptors, but that's just not enough of a bio army. Yeah, the supply just is not there. Percival, he's broke. He has bases, but again, he has limited mining. Oof. He can't afford to rebuild. And Percival's just running out of steam. A herO, he's about to remax. Percival does bring down another expansion, but he needs to trade with the army, and he wasn't quite able to. One of those cases where the soup is not lying back. Oh no. It's rare, but it's happening. So he rotates over. Does run into 5 tanks. This is maybe the most difficult position to push into. But all 5 tanks pre-sieged. That's 5 that Percival could have hoped for. herO rotating over. 4 tanks do rotate. That's CP. Ooh, tanks are exposed. He gets 1. He gets 1. Takes down Liberators as well. And now we just commit in. Now we just commit in. And here we go. Finally a better fight for herO. Resets the tank count. Bit of awkward army movement there from herO. Does take the fight, does reinforce, and now we can just keep going. And now, no tanks, no Liberators. Now there's no anchor point here for Percival. We just keep going. Oof. And Novas, they do still connect. Planetary does not go down. Messy fight at herO, very messy. As he had a bunch of his army dedicated towards the Nexus, towards the planetary, but didn't quite bring it down. Novas didn't connect. Getting messy. So he's hanging in there. He's hanging on. herO dives in, punishes the ghost. 1 ghost goes down. There's a recall. Massive rotation. This southern base has 3 tanks, but again, they are exposed. And herO collapses in. Snaps in, gets 1. There's 3 tanks left. A bit further back. Zealots are closing that gap. Nova's going to be going up as well. Ooh, catching out another tank. Now there's 2 planetary falls, finally. Took so long. Planetary goes down. herO who loses a base himself, but herO can afford it. He can afford to lose it. Just gonna keep pushing. Once again, catching out the low ground tanks. And GG. GG gets called with that. herO, he will survive the all-in. He does force a longer game, and he does recover. He recovers, he bounces back. herO does force the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, there's a world with Percival 3 O's. Oh, sorry, I guess 3 1s. Where Percival, again, that 2-base all-in was insane. Like, he was actually trading very, very nicely. Catching out the Stalkers, catching out the Colossus, breaking the 3rd expansion. But again, we saw that the beginning of the all-in was lackluster, where Percival, he unfortunately did bleed out a lot of tanks early on. And bearing in mind the tanks that were the main DPS factor when it came to his all-in. So to lose 2 tanks early on, that was insane. If that wasn't the case, again, he kills the 3rd base that much faster. He breaks through the 3rd base, breaks through the main army, and most likely even just kills herO. But GG. GG all played. With that herO, he barely survived. He held on. Great use of his Stalkers to come in from behind and to catch reinforcements, to buy enough time for Colossus to build up at the natural, of course, and to make a game out of it. GG. GG all played. Very tenacious play there by herO, as that leads us into the ace match. Leads us into game 5. We're going to be loading into Blackrock. Oh boy. I'll be honest, I haven't really seen too many games on Blackrock, despite us having it in a decent amount of tournament map pools. Haven't seen too much mid-game. Curious. Bearing in mind this is an older version of Blackrock, this map has been updated, and we should be able to feature it later on tonight in the Tunic Cup. Let's go. Let's go. Spawning in the right-hand corner of Blackrock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran. Oh, the Red Terran player himself. It is Percival. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go and welcome one and all to Blackrock. Blackrock is a tribute to Warcraft. To Warcraft 3, or I guess Warcraft in general. It does have a very heavy Warcraft aesthetic, as we do have our watchtowers, and there are even some orc grunts. As you can see there are some orc grunts on patrol, also scouting the map here on Blackrock. Let's go. Let us go. So big Warcraft aesthetic. This map did make it into the top 16, and also a big shout out to a big shout out to Brendoner in the chat. Gracias, baby, gracias. God, baby, God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donation. To the tip, 420, lovely. Thank you for the tip. We do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Goes for the bunny vet funds. Thank you, thank you. Again, vet bills have been very expensive. So we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Gracias, gracias. So from here, we're going to be opening up. Now, when it comes to the features of the map itself, outside of the aesthetic, it is interesting. It does have a very open 3rd and 4th base. So very quickly here, we have our secured natural. We do have the high ground that does actually help secure said natural base as well, with tank positioning with the high ground advantage. Coming in towards the area in between the bases here, there have been changes made, so I did try to emphasize that previously. I would say that this position is a little bit abusable when it comes to aggression, but we have actually removed some of this tall grass to make this more of a defensive position instead, as it can actually be used to defend against the entrance into the 3rd. So this is a linear 3rd base. We can knock down these rocks, we can wall this area off. It's a relatively open 3rd later in the game once these rocks are knocked down and completely cleaned up. We then have the northern expansion here. This base looks a little bit more difficult to maintain due to the entrance on the top side and due to the tall grass as well. There's a lot of tall grasses, a lot of side blockers here in the center of the map, but changes made to this area here. I believe this choke point was narrowed up, so I believe that now these rocks already come pre-knocked down, so now we have a more narrow choke point here to have a little bit more of a narrow entrance in towards the bases for harassment. And I believe this tall grass was pushed back a little bit further. Was push back further instead to actually allow for a bit of a more secure area here. So this can't be used against the defending player too much. Meanwhile, a big shout to Babylings. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was just going over the map. But thank you so much for subscribing for 47 months. Crazy. 47 months of not seeing live VIP wear pants. Oh, no. Here's the 47 more. Here's the but thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Este Babylings. Aye, aye, aye. As our first Reaper does dip into the main. It does dip in, it does attempt to get a scout off, and won't quite get a probe. Yeah, not quite. As Reaper is going to be locked down, and we are going to be opening up Blink. So Blink is going to be on the way. Behind this we have our 1-1-1 follow-up. Again, initially economic start at a Percival. So far, so good. As again, from here we're coming down, opening up with a mine drop. We have a mine drop follow-up as well. But again, when it comes to the map itself, we have had some changes. So the tall grass was pushed back a little bit further just to allow for the defending player to have a little bit more room to work. And I believe this entrance here was actually created a little bit wider. It's a very narrow entrance coming in between the bases, but this was made, I want to say, like 1 or 2 hexes wider instead, just to not be as punishing, just to allow for more rotations as well. A bunch of changes are made. I'm sure we'll see them tonight. We'll see them. Feeling again when the Reaper just walks past my Reaper walk. True, we did see that here. Oh no. Look, it's like potentially the first time playing on the map, so it takes a while to get used to like walling up and walling off, and sometimes there can be some bugs as well. We're getting there. Hydro comes in. Hero's keeping up. Oh! As Hero does pull away in time, no mine connections, observers in position, and not a single probe goes down. Very nice defense. Clean defense out of Hero. Cleans up the mines. And from here, he can now start to gain map control. Behind this 3-gate blink. 3-gate blink with the robo as well into a delayed expansion. Here he can now move out, he can push, and he can apply pressure. Back at home, what do we have to defend? We have 2 bunkers. 2 bunkers on low ground. We have 1 tank in the main. I will say the main base isn't too accessible. Thankfully, here we do have some terrain to disrupt, but we'll see what angle Hero does come in from. We'll see if we can dive into said main or natural base. Still only 1 tank to defend. We are vulnerable. Percival, he is vulnerable here. Here comes Warp in. Hero's pushing. Does he dive past the bunker again? Like, that was a question move last time. He's going for the main. He dives into the main base. Can he get on top of the tank? Going for Stim, actually. And Stim will be knocked down. Yeah, nice denial. Stim is denied. Does make away. Yo, we did have a second tech lab, thankfully. Stim does restart. So here he does keep warping in. At this point, now we have a second tank, so Percival, he's secure. 2 tanks in the main, and here he can just contain. Oh, I say that. Does dive in the bunker. Gets 1. Does snipe one of the bunkers. Does weaken that defensive position. Bearing in mind that Hero did expand behind this, so he's building up into a macro game, getting his own 3rd base, charge on the way, mortal production as well. Hero's not all in. But he still wants that bunker. And he does get it. Yeah, one more volley. Bunker goes down. Again, there's no tangle to low ground, so Hero, he's just overwhelming. Yeah, he's just overwhelming. And without Stim, what could this bio army do? There's no Stim. There's no Stim. I mean, the tanks, they move down to low ground. Tanks are exposed. So because they blink away. But these have been some brutal trades. As Hero, he rotates. Once again, there's an opening in the main. Here he can bypass the tank. Can he get Stim again? No, he's going for it. He's going to get combat shields. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He does snipe combat shields. Stim does survive, thankfully. That would have been brutal. I mean, this still is brutal. Stim survives, Bappy. Let's go. But here he can just back off and build up, building up towards Colossus. Throwing down the bay, the forge, the upgrades, attacking up. Bunkers like he suck. I mean, so the way that you would have to defend against that is you have to pre-pull the boys to repair. If you're unable to repair the bunkers, then they're unable to buy time. Bunkers are not really built to defend, they're built to buy time for the rest of the army to rotate and the rest of the army to defend, which would have been the case if stim was available, right? Like, there's just so much coming to play here. Lack of stim, pressure of the stalkers, bow tanks in the main. Like, it's just been a very shaky mid-game here for Percival. Very shaky. And here, ready to just collapse in. He's ready for the army. And Percival is pushing. Tanks are unsieged. He's getting caught out. One tank does go down. There's one tank left. Oh my god. Does pull away. Saves the one. But the boy... where are we going? The boys! I mean, Percival was forced into a 2-base all in. The boys are being pulled, but there's only one tank behind this. We just engage. Zealots, they trade well. They tank. And can we even get on top of the tank? Not quite. Yeah, Percival is holding on here, but again, this was an engagement on Percival's side of the map. Here he has so much time to warp in, reinforce. We have more Colossus amassing as well. Here is perfectly fine. And already the all-in has failed. 2-base all-in did fail. And here is not done. Once again, looking for a way into the main. We have a handful of Marines. Sniping the medevac. Medevac goes down. Liberator is vulnerable. Here he does pull away. And Percival, he needs to be active. He needs to be active. He needs to be aggressive. Back at home, oh my god. Like, how do we deal with this, Pappy? Here we're getting further ahead. About to have a third Colossus. And here's just going to shut this down. I mean, the drops are at least buying time. We're distracting herO, buying time, forcing a recall. He's doing what he can. Oh. Launcher goes off. Launcher goes off, catching the Colossus. Third base now being taken. Percival, he's attempting to expand, attempting to macro out of this. And the best that Percival can hope for here is to drop and to distract, to keep herO busy while he slowly recovers and builds up his Vikings, his ghosts. That's the hope. Speaking of, not bad. Catching up 4 probes. Catching up 4 workers. Again, distracting herO. So he needs more time. Oh, the retargeting gets a sentry. Yeah, nice retargeting, but this is the big concern here, is that Percival, he needed to do everything he could to keep herO busy. Because he didn't, herO he moves out, and herO has a death bull of an army. He's got 3 Colossus, mass Zealot warpins. Here he just commits in, pushing into the siege line. It's not a pretty trade here for herO, but he breaks through. He just breaks through, he just overwhelms, the numbers in his favor. 1 Colossus goes down, he gets 1, he gets 2, but GG gets called. There's just not enough on the ground, and herO, he will claim the series 3-2, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, herO. He will claim the series. A very intense back and forth here, and I'm still thinking about game 4. I'm still thinking about the game on Washouts, where again, Percival, he committed to the 2-base all-in, and he almost straight up killed herO. There would have been a world where he would have advanced on instead. He was close. He was close, and despite not bringing him down, I will still say a big shout out to Percival. Percival, he went up against the best Protoss in the world, right? herO, he's straight up the best Protoss player in the world. So for Percival to force the ace match and to almost win the series as well, GG. GG, well played. A very solid performance there by Percival. Bearing in mind he's still a younger player, he's still an up-and-comer, but he has been getting better and better results over time. Recently, I mean, this tournament, he beat Cure, right? He beat Cure, he went to the ace match against herO, he beats Beyond on a regular basis as well, he beats Solar in the GSL qualifiers. Like Percival, more and more frequently, he's getting these better and stronger results, beating some of the more veterans in the scene, like Beyond, Cure, Solar, etc. So impressive play there, but GG well played with that. herO, he does knock him down, and we're getting ready for the grand finals. It's going to be a best of 5 between herO and Clem. Oh boy. Here we go. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. And we'll see you soon coming into our next game. I see in the chat no armory. Bearing in mind that Percival, he had no intention of the game for lasting much longer. It was meant to be an all-in. That's why he pulled the boys. He was going for an all-in after a very rocky start. So if you did notice any kind of I almost said inconsistencies, any inefficiencies when it came to building up into a longer game. I mean, the game was never meant to last that long. Like, it was the plan was not to build up into a macro game. It was just a very messy mid game. But regardless, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have Clem versus herO in a best of 5. See you soon.